Let's see what we broke this time. What's up, boys and girls? Welcome back to Redwood RC. We are back here on the bench, and it's a very special day because we got the deadbolt back. We're bringing back the beast. I finally found a solution I think that's gonna work for the transmission woes I've been having. I've also solved a couple of small problems and made a couple of small improvements. So let's take a look at what we got. We'll bring you in a little bit closer, throw this thing back together, and then we'll hit the trail because it's a nice day. It's a little bit cold, but I think it's gonna be a good day to get out there on the rocks and see how this thing performs. Let's get to it. All right, here she is. This is the deadbolt, finally put back together. And you can see right off the bat, I've made a couple of small changes. So firstly, one cosmetic thing, I just went ahead and shot a little black paint on the brass parts and the aluminum parts that were exposed. I don't expect that to last very long. I just wasn't a big fan of how it looked. I'm sure it'll get scratched up, but whatever, it's not a big deal. I think it just kind of subdues the wild color scheme that was going on here. That I'm pretty happy with. So next, we went ahead and I fabricated a little plate here to go right underneath the Injora transmission and motor setup. This is a 1/4 inch thick piece of aluminum. I just drilled it out to fit the bolt pattern there and put a lightning hole in the center of it. And that just barely allows the drive shaft to clear the motor and the suspension links. At full compression on the passenger side here, I do expect the drive shaft will rub a little bit on the motor still. Not a giant problem. We'll see how that affects performance, but it is at least drivable, and I do want to get this thing back out on the rocks and have some fun with it. It's been quite a while since I was able to do anything even remotely fun with this thing, so it's going to be fun to get it back out there. One other thing I found that I was a little bit surprised of when I was putting this back together is that the EcoPower's servo arm that I have was hitting my frame. This Injora servo does not fit very well in the stock location in the stock frame on this truck. And there were these little rubber isolator grommets on the underside that were preventing it from sitting all the way down in the mount, which was making this EcoPower arm hit the frame. So I was only getting less steering than I could on this side. So I went ahead and cut those down, and that allows the steering arm to just clear the frame just enough so that I can get full lock to lock in both directions now. So that's pretty cool. I'm super excited about that. Other than that, I went ahead and trimmed out the center cross brace here just ahead of the motor. It was really just in the way. It would not have worked with the motor in the current location, but I did want to keep those little tabs in there so that I could continue to mount the front of the sliders so that they stay rigid. Other than that, it is basically as it was. The Injora anti-squat link up top of the rear axle there, the brass front and rear diff covers, as well as the brass knuckles. And that's basically it. The aluminum billet front and rear bumper mounts that we made. The Injora 5-pole, what is this, 20 turn, whatever it is, 20 turn motor. Really, really pumped to hit the trail with this. The last thing I did, and this was a major upgrade. So inside these Trio wheels are these beadlock rings. And the wheels themselves are aluminum. However, these beadlock rings are steel. Now that's okay in terms of weight down low where you want it in the wheels. But one thing I was noticing is that they're starting to rust here. They have etched their logo into the ring itself, which is kind of crazy considering you will literally never see this. And you can see it's starting to rust, so it's allowing rust to form, and that started to get under the powder coat on this ring, and it's eventually just gonna turn into a rusty pile of crap. You can see it's starting over here already. It's starting to stain the foams on the inside of this. I mean, I know that's kind of a ridiculous thing to care about, but I do. And eventually they'll just get worse and worse. So what I did, I went ahead and fabbed up a set of my own brass beadlock rings. Now these are essentially identical to the factory steel ring in diameter and weight and everything. They are almost identical in weight. I was hoping they would be a little bit heavier than the steel, but they are almost identical in weight. Now the benefit of these is that they won't rust, which is good. But the other benefit I found while making these is that I could also make them much bigger. So I went ahead and made a couple of these. Now, these are the front rings. I've already got one installed in one of the front tires, and they make a massive difference. You can see the size difference compared to the rear rings. So these are about 150 grams heavier than these rings. These rings weigh about 80 grams, I think. These are, the steel ones are 79, these are about 80, so they're slightly heavier, but not much. 80 grams for these. These are about 235 grams, so almost 150 extra grams per wheel up front, way down low on the axle, right where you want it. This is super cool. I'm very excited about that. That's gonna add a lot of weight while still retaining the look of these wheels. I do really like these wheels, but we're gonna increase the performance a lot. They are a little bit bigger, so they're gonna squish the foam out a little bit more, which will make these tires ever so slightly stiffer than the rear, I think. But I believe the added weight will more than compensate for that. So why don't we go ahead and get the rest of these wheels broken down. We'll replace the other front ring with this one that I made. We'll put these two in the rear. And then we'll go ahead and throw a battery in this thing and get it out on the trail and see how it performs. I cannot wait. All of these upgrades, it should really kick ass. It's just been quite a process. So yeah, let's get to work. Okay, so here's our other factory ring out of the front wheel. And as you can see, this one is also rusting. It's very wet. That's one of the things. These tires are vented, so when I go through some water or when I wash these wheels, they get water in them. And I try as best I can to dry them out, but there is some residual moisture in there, and that's what's causing these to rust. These nice new brass rings will not do that, so that's super cool. Let's get the rest of these apart. I'm gonna dry these foams out, we'll get everything back together, and then we'll go ahead and hit the trail just like this. Oh, woo! Look at that, man, all back together, ready to go. This front end is super heavy now. We added another 300 grams to the wheels, and boy, you can feel it. That's a lot of weight up front. We got the motor up front. Hopefully this is gonna work out. It's a very tight fit here in terms of battery placement and everything, but I think that's gonna work out okay. 3S power, 5-slot motor. Let's go, I'm pumped. Get the body on and we will hit the trails. This thing looks absolutely sick. I'm pumped. Let's head out to the rocks. We'll see you there. Oh, this is an absolute disaster. Got here for a few more minutes, wheeling this thing around. And let's see if I can do this one-handed. Let me show you the problem we've got here. Oh no. Broken axle shaft, or, well, doesn't feel like it. Maybe. Most likely stripped the rear diff gear, stripped the axle out of it. I'm not even sure when that happened. That's crazy. Now we only have 3-wheel drive. So that sucks. Guess we'll try to limp around and see what else it can do. That sucks. Well, I was planning on doing overdrive, underdrive gears anyway, but not right away. Oh, that's pathetic. Oh man. Let's see what we broke this time. All right, let's see what the problem is. Man, I didn't even get maybe 5 minutes out there on the rocks. I didn't even get to the rocks. I got out there, got distracted by the beautiful creek and the mud. Somehow this truck always ends up in the mud. Got out there, got distracted, started playing around, broke her immediately. Got to pull the wheels off. I just got them back on. So many little bolts. Might as well pull all of them off because they need to be cleaned. Jesus. Oh, God. Ugh. All right, so this is a big update. Turns out it's not broken. It's not broken, so that's a really good thing. As far as I can tell, not broken. What happened? Because I forgot to put the little pin in. So the little tiny pin that goes in the axle shaft and slots into the back of the hex to actually drive the wheel, turns out that's kind of important. Oh! Let me see, do I have another one? Somewhere? Somewhere. I don't know. I'll have to find one. Anyway. Truck's not broken. Let's get it cleaned up. Let's get it charged up. We'll head out back to the rocks. We'll actually see what this thing can do. Well, we know it's waterproof at least. All right, back to the rocks. And we're back on another beautiful day. Let's try to stay out of the water this time.
trickier, steeper, more challenging stuff that definitely would have struggled with previously. I don't know if I said this already, but it feels like it's geared really high. I don't know, maybe that's just me. I don't know. absolutely beautiful day. I said I wasn't gonna get it wet, but the water has receded quite a bit, and it's looking very cool over here. This is gonna be so much fun to explore when this fully dries out. We can bring all the rigs in here. Right now, it's still kind of a minefield. The ultimate route. So slimy. So slimy and nasty. Look at it. Oh, God. Ew. Oh, I'm getting out of here. Oh, my God. Such a disgusting mess. I just cleaned this whole thing, too. Oh, well, it's okay. Well, it has been an absolute blast finally getting to take this thing out without breaking it for once. It performs great when it's working. It is definitely still, I mean, it's geared too high. This Endura transmission, I don't know. I'm not a big fan. It doesn't work in their skid plate with one of the motors that they make, which is like kind of crazy to me, but you know, I don't know, it gets the job done, I guess. It cracked immediately as soon as I put it in. It does have metal gears, which I guess is cool. I don't know, I wouldn't recommend it. Anyway, I'm gonna kill the rest of this pack. Back to the shop, you guys.